got to this place about 3, maybe 4 years ago. The Sunshine, the one you saw in the pictures here, caught fire. Completely burned up, gutted, pretty much no good. Well, you know, exterior damage, nothing. The whole interior was just like black. Everything burnt, melted, black. Fortunately, the fire department got there within 6 minutes and stopped the blaze, so there was no exterior damage at all. Anyway, I was not too disappointed, but once I looked at it, I decided, you know, good time to get out of this mess. Boat's a pain in the neck anyway, as are all boats, right? And I was bad enough. And so I actually gave it away to a fellow that I'd done a bunch of mission work, and I knew he was perfectly capable of fixing everything, putting it back together, and using it in his mission. And I even made arrangements to pay his dockage for a whole year, so he had time to put it back together for himself. Well, he did. He put a big crew on there, and he completely gutted it, washed the whole insides with oven cleaner of all things, and announced to me the next day, "I've changed my mind, I don't want your boat." So I argued with him, you know, because I thought, gee, I'm done with this thing. I can go do fun stuff now, you know. And that's the truth. Anybody who owns a boat, that's the real boat. They say sailing is repairing your boat in exotic places. That's what it's really. So anyway, yeah, because I get the whole thing in my boat never really went much of anywhere, because that's one of my professions. I get paid to take people's boats, and they pay for everything that goes wrong, including me, you know. So it's kind of, when you got to take your own boat, you put your hand in your pocket. It's a whole different world. I'm beginning to just explain why I was so delighted to see my boat catch fire. You know? So anyway, the guy calls me, and I'm like, I tried to convince him to keep it, because I knew he would do a great work with it, you know. And the next day I get a call from Captain Terry. He's up in Texas somewhere. He said, "Cap Keith, I heard your boat just burned out. The Lord just spoke to my heart, and he said he needs me to come down there with the crew and help you fix it." I'm like, oh, great. Looks like I'm stuck with it, you know. So he shows up, fixes everything up. All the portholes had melted, so water was coming inside. You know, so they put all new portholes in it. And somebody with in the town with a business that supplies marine supplies said, "Listen, I see what happened. Just run up a charge. We'll deal with the expenses later." But he said, "Anything you need, put it on my tab." And he said, "I'll charge you my cost for all your parts." I'm like, "No, you know, this is a losing battle. I'm stuck with this thing." Anyway, we patched it up, and not too long, well, we started talking about it. And it's like, what are we going to do with this thing once we got it fixed up? And then we came up like, let's go to Israel. It's pretty cool, you know. And so that, you know, and this has been on my heart for years and years and years. And when we started talking about it, it gave me the encouragement to finish the boat. So within 6 months, it was actually better than before we started. And right about that time was last year's conference. So I was like, "Terry, let's go to the conference and see what happens." I came up with Roberta, and somebody asked us to say something, and I mentioned that, and the next thing you know, you heard the prophecy. Everybody just ran up and surrounded me here and prayed for it. I think the classic is walking out the door. Somebody said to me, "Gee, I guess you're," it was Bill, I think. We're walking out the door. He said, "Well, I guess you're going to Israel, huh?" I said, "Gee, after that, do I have a choice?" I may be reluctant to do this stuff, but I do, you know, He's got me in a little tight path there. I can't get out of it. So here we are. And now the rubber meets for the road. We got to get ready. And like I told you, I'm accustomed to running other people's boats and getting paid for it and getting a credit card to pay for everything that goes wrong. But my biggest worry is like, this is going to cost a lot of money. Yesterday I ran the numbers on it, you know, as well as being gone, I still got to keep all the lights on in my house, you know. And the boat's ready to go. It needs a few minor things, a few batteries, and I think a new radar would help. But it's basically ready to go, you know. But meantime, we heard about, would you take one Jew with you? And so we kind of kicked that around and looked around and here, there. And one day I'm standing in my backyard and I see these guys changing an engine from one car to another, and I get to talking to them. Two brothers looking to go to Israel. They already have a boat, but not much experience. So I'm thinking, this is great. This is two of us. Have you ever sailed two boats together?
Yeah, right.
Oh, that is so much fun. Yeah. You just got to have the biggest water cannon, you know. And there. Okay, so that's Stephen. He's sitting in the back here, and he's a potential Aliyah person. Has his own boat. We just got to help him put it together. It's a 38-foot Gulf Star. It's a better boat than mine. It's a real blue water boat. Needs a lot of patching, but like I said to people, it's a lot better shape than the Sunshine was after the fire. And in 6 months we had her patched up, and subsequently did a bunch of mission trips with it. You know, so it's been shook down. It needs another shakedown before we leave, but we're about good to go. The one thing that really excites me a lot is like, I know all the Aliyah stuff has to be done with a great deal of secrecy, as we just heard. And that bothered me a lot. But when I was at the conference in Spain, I spoke to somebody, and it's not, everything doesn't have to be secretive. Because one of the things that excited me so much about making this trip is if we have somebody who's good at it making an ongoing videotape, this trip should be a YouTuber's dream trip. Because I've looked at a bunch of these YouTube videos. We do all the same stuff when we stop. You know, we spearfish, we surf, we do a lot of the stuff that the YouTubers are selling. We do it anyway, but boy, do we have a purpose. And if we can just, and the lady that I spoke to said she had, like Bill mentioned, she had somebody who could possibly travel with us, keep filming everything, putting it out there, and the message of salvation, it's there. We don't have to shout it out, because somebody's going to say, why are you going there? What are you doing this for? The evangelical mission is just built in. It'll just raise its head every once in a while when it's supposed to do that. So we're accomplishing what is my dream, to use this. Let me back up just a little bit. There was a crew that I had on one of the trips to Haiti. And he was an actor, movie guy, sort of thing. And he said to me one day, he said, you know, for years and years we've gone knocking on doors, witnessing to people on the streets. And he said, that's great. But he said, have you looked around? Everybody's looking at their telephone. Everybody's looking at their telephone. He said, we have to reach those people through their telephone. And that's what made me enthusiastic to try to make this thing, get it out to as many millions of people as we can. They're watching us do something that they envy, but built in there is the message of salvation. And I think that's the exciting, motivating part for me personally.
Amen.
Cool. Any more?
Terry, you got anything to add?
Terry.
Where are you? Terry.
Terry. That's your new hearing aid.
He left his hearing aid behind. Don't worry about it.
We want to do